Welcome back to day 4 of Kick My Asana. And today is going to be a nice, sweet little combo because I'm a human being and my back has been sore. I've been recording these challenge practices back to back and jumping into poses without being warm. So caution, don't do those things. Make sure you're warm and your body's ready. On a positive note, I've been receiving so many messages, comments, and emails even that this practice is bringing in a whole lot of joy to you guys. So I'm so excited about that. I really, really do love the connection and the interaction that happens away from the video. So on that note, you'll be strongly encouraged today by me to listen to what your body's telling you and to really go into the muscles that we are going to be onboarding to make sure that your structure is fully supported. So let's go really slow today. I hope that this is what you need on your energy day. If it's not, you can head back to a prior video. They'll be a little shorter today too. Let's start in child's pose, big toes to touch, knees going wide. And then the sit bones are gonna slide back as far as you can take them. And some of you, they'll be resting at your heels. And for others, you may even be stacked up hips over knees. If that's where you are today, you can take whatever posture feels comfortable. I don't expect you to stay up here and ask you to relax. So anywhere that you can relax, where your back is being stretched on both sides, and the chin humbles in towards your heart, your forehead melts down, caught by your mat. And depending on how you are in relationship with your shoulders right now, you may be able to have your arms straight out, reaching for the short end of your mat, or you might even have to take a bend through the elbows and bring your arms quite close to your body. And wherever you land, see if you can relax all the muscular tension around the shoulders, the jaw, the face, the neck. Drawing in bigger inhales to the belly and letting go of fuller exhales. Your breath is so much more than just an unconscious act by your body. It is really symbolic of where you are in the present moment and how you perceive life in general, what your general belief system is. Breathing in full and deep, both inhales and full and complete exhales. And probably spend a good deal of your time being present. And if you're human like the rest of us, you might notice that your breath can be caught sometimes. You don't breathe in all the way, or you find yourself holding your breath, you're not breathing out. There's usually some story playing in the background there. And so this moment in this pose, I want you to see if you can draw in those more present, deep, full breath. And we'll gently press forward, come into tabletop for a few rounds of cat-cow. The knees will come underneath the hips and palms plant down. with a real grip through the fingertips. So there's like a subtle lifting. The palm sucks down, but the fingers lift. This is nice for your wrists. Also, if your wrists are troubling you, you can always come back to take out the bend in the wrist. Some people will ask you to put yourself up on a towel, but if you don't have that here, you can just come back slightly so there's not a 90-degree bend between wrist and top of the hand. Inhale, belly drops, gaze lifts, and there's still a ab engagement as the belly drops. And then exhale, squeezing your spine up towards the ceiling as the breath is squeezed from your body. Inhaling, belly drops. I like the feeling of my heart pressing forward through my upper arm bones. And then that big empty out as though you're pulling that energy back up and in. Full belly breaths in, rib cage widen, expands with every inhale. And then the squeeze from your side body into center as everything inside you is floating up. Coming into neutral spine. So this is a slight belly engagement where the belly button sort of sucks to the spine. Gaze looks down between the thumbs of your hand. And you can, I don't actually understand how people don't bring their knee to center. I'll be flying all over this room, but I like to bring my left knee to center, but you're welcome to leave it where it is if that's how your body rolls. Take your right knee out to the side and try to bring it up hip height, but don't drop your left side body to do it. So maybe you don't get too high, it might even only be halfway, but hold, breathing for 3. Glute, right glute, real strong. Left glute hugging to the bone for 1. And relax, right knee comes down. And then you'll roll your right hip out to the side just to bring a nice stretch through the outside of the right hip. Come back through center with your inhale. Exhale, right sole of the foot kicks up towards the ceiling and the knee is bent to a 90-degree angle. Belly hugs back in so it's not dropping. Shoulders are pressing away from the spine. So there's a nice lift through the upper spine, but strong low spine, kick of the foot up, strong glute, strong hamstring. Last breath. And release. Right knee comes down to your mat. And we can move back to that hip stretch. Sucking the belly in as you come back through center, strong core engagement. Right knee to center, left knee comes out like a dog peeing on a fire hydrant, for lack of a better visual outside of my body doing it. And as high as you can get. So if you were watching me, you'd watch me, I was shifting really heavy into my right body. So I'm gonna drop my knee slightly and come back to where I can hold my right side body in, not dropping towards the mat, and keep my left knee up as far as it can, breathing for 1. And back down. Left hip presses to outside edge of your mat. Big stretch. And back through center. Mula Bandha locked. Pressing left foot up towards the ceiling. Glute strong. Hamstring pressing up towards the ceiling, even speed with the sole of your foot. If you notice your belly is dropped, hug it back in. Kick your heel up a little higher because that likely went down as you hugged your belly in. And last breath here. And both knees will come down so that the inside of the knees are touching, and you'll just roll the hips out from side to side. And then coming to center. Maybe you want to push up on the tips of your fingers as you bring your right foot forward. Knee landing over top of ankle. Lots of strong belly engagement as you pull your chest up and away from your front leg. Hands rise. Left hip presses forward. Right plugs in. So go into left hip and really feel the stretch and expansion from the left hip point into the top of your quad. So see if you can draw your body forward to create that, or if you already are experiencing it, be in that sensation. Imagine as though the muscle is relaxing yet strong at the same time. Sthira Sukha. Thumbs through heart center. Full breath in, spine grows taller as space is created between each vertebra. And then twisting towards the right, we're gonna see if we can touch the front leg with your elbow. You may not be able to. We're not wrapping, using tension to lock the elbow, but just twisting to see. And you'll see that mine is not touching yet. We're very early in practice, so I'm just making the motion to do that. And now come back through center with your gaze, and then up, shoulders stack over top of hips, hands rise up, and heart continues to lift up as your fingers reach back. Left hip driving forward. Gaze coming forward, hips sliding back. Your hands come down to frame your front foot. So you can keep this as a top of the foot stretch by drawing your toes down and lengthening the hip back by straightening through your right knee. Going into the back side of the leg, heel down, toes up, lots of active energy down through the heel, and then pulling back and into your hip socket. That'll really get a good sensation building through your hamstring. Maybe it's a lot, and maybe it's just subtle, but you should feel something. If you don't feel something, you can play inside the pose to where you do. And walking your hands forward, right knee bends. Left hand stays where it is, and then bring your right arm. So start to sweep your right fingers up towards the sky as your rib cage comes up towards the sky too. So this is right rib rolling over top of left rib. Both hands come down. Half split again. So sliding hips back. You either can go into front side of the leg, toes down, or back side of the leg, toes up. Moving back to neutral, hands walk forward, right knee bends. Full belly engagement. See if you can sweep your foot back and find tabletop. And if you can't sweep it back, which is kind of hilarious because I can't either, but if you can't, then just do however you can get to tabletop. From tabletop, lots of core engagement. Left knee starts to lift and left foot lands forward at the top of the mat. Belly lifts, gaze rises, hands lift up, and we have ourselves a low lunge. Present with tension in your breath, and how when you are tense, your breath is short. And when you are present, your breath is long. You are here, not suffering for later when we get out of this. Thumbs through heart center. A lengthen up with the inhale and slightly forward as you're twisting your right elbow to touch maybe your front leg, but it might not. Mine's definitely quite a jaunt away. Come back through center, arms rise up, find your back bend. And coming all the way forward again, half split, left side. So left hip is plugging in. And you can do the variation with the foot that you chose on the other side. And so it's so interesting for me because I told you my back is tender on the low left side. Those of you who know where emotions are locked in the body, I'm sure you can probably understand what I'm going through. We control a lot with our back, and when things feel like they're shifting, usually our back will shift for us too. And when I go into this, it feels so free from my low back just by freeing up my left leg. We'll walk back forward. Knees stacked over foot. And there very well could be poses missing here, you guys. If you have not had a practice with me before, I'm very in the energy. So if I ever do miss anything and you're like, you're bound and determined to make it happen, you put it in there and make this practice yours. Right hand is down, left arm floats up. So right rib rolling under left, and then turning of the heart towards the sky. And both hands come back. Hips sliding all the way to the back. Maybe you're half split, you did 50-50. You did one with the heel down or one where the toes were down. And the second time back in, it feels so much more free for me, so I can even play with moving my hips from side to side. I don't know if that feels good for everyone. I like it. And then we'll walk forward. Low lunge. Bring your hips up. Lightness through your foot. And step back, tabletop. Whew, cat-cow. Let's do 4 cat-cows. Close your eyes and just listen to only your breath. Big inhales. Full and complete exhales. All right, coming to center. This is going to be a very, very, very different practice for us today. So take your right foot to the back of the mat. And I say that because I usually teach all components of a yoga class, but we will not be standing, although there will be some effort of balancing and very strong postures coming up. Let's have that right toe, right foot down. Have your right foot down, heel up. And then kick your left toes out behind you just slightly, like a kickstand. So the toes are gonna maybe come off your mat. Drop your right heel down. So this rolls your right hip over your left. And then sweep up to the sky with your right arm. You are in a modified side plank. And you're probably thinking, but Melanie, you said we were gonna do half moon. We are, but we're gonna do it grounded. And you have the option to bind. So here, we're almost in a modified grounded, or we're almost in a grounded half moon. Modified side plank, turned grounded half moon. Lift your back leg up. Press out through the left palm, drawing left shoulder strong as right fingers reach up. And you are in a grounded half moon. So every part of that posture is happening except for your standing leg is bent. Option to bind. Bend your right knee, kick your heel in towards your glute. Make a grab of the top side of the foot and then start to kick into the palm of your hand. Relax if you're in your bind back to grounded half moon. Both hands come down and knees join you at the mat tabletop. Other side. Left toes kick back, tuck underneath. You can rock there a little bit too if it feels good for you. We're always in such a rush, right? Where's the next cue? What thing am I doing next? What about just being here for just 2 breaths? Kicking your right toes out behind you. Left heel drops down. And then left hip rolls over as left arm, so much left, reaches towards the sky and just pressing slightly forward with the pelvis. Modified side plank. You can stay here. I love this. Love it, love it. And then maybe you love this, you might love that. Leg lifts up, grounded half moon. All the energy from crown to heel, flexed foot. So if we have a floppy foot, what's your quad doing? Flop your foot, your quad softens too. Flex your foot, your quad grips the bone and your whole leg lights up and your body becomes lighter. Maybe you want the bind, heel to glute, grabbing with the hand. And then I like to draw a little back bend in, lifting my heart as I press into my hand with my foot. And releasing, if you are in the bind, come back, grounded half moon. And then all the way back tabletop. From tabletop, take hip sway from side to side. And then when you feel ready, we'll close in child's pose. Big toes together, knees wide and apart, and arms walking as far forward as they can. Belly softens, whole upper body melting. Big breaths. And an option for spinal twist, left arm traveling under right armpit, left ear down. Through center, right arm underneath left armpit, right ear down. Arms coming to center, whole body softens, mind relaxes all control, and settling into your final resting pose, Shavasana. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Namaste.